What is going on, world? Uh, Eric D. Seals in a very different setup than I usually am. I'm actually in between a shoot right now and had some downtime and decided why not talk to the camera a little bit because I've been making content that focuses on how you can level up your career, how you can start a business, how you can acquire new equipment, but that's only one side of it. The other side of it, it's not that people don't talk about it, but they don't talk about it enough. And I guess I hit that stage today. And I'm like, I think this is a great opportunity to share this other side of it, which has nothing to do with equipment, has nothing to do with settings, has nothing to do with your lighting or how to be a better DP, director, cinematographer. It has to do with just the mental health, not the mental healthness, the mental health in this whole thing. Starting a business, being an entrepreneur, being a freelancer is running a business because you're running the business of yourself. And some people expand to have a larger team and some people do it solo. But the thing that I learned is we push so hard to make it to the next level, to get more jobs, more clients, bigger opportunities, bigger logos on our client list. But that comes at a cost. And that cost is sometimes your mental health and your mental well-being. And I usually hide it from people because nobody actually cares for the most part. Your loved ones around you do, but it's something that's real. And I see that it's something that's affected from the beginning of me starting Digify, my business, and being a freelancer. And I want to share this side of it because there's someone who's starting out right now who doesn't realize that this is something that's a part of the whole situation. And so what that thing is sometimes I feel like you hit a deep depression with work. Sometimes it's not necessarily when things are just going bad. You know, when things are going bad, I feel like there's an adrenaline that kicks in where I'm like, okay, we got to get new opportunities, new work, and all these things so that we can keep the business going and keep people paid and grow and grow and grow. So it actually happens to me more when things are either settle or things start to go well. I almost feel like I've been in the trenches of grinding so hard for so long that I sometimes don't realize that you've reached the level that you want to reach. And if your goal is only to attain something that you will never be able to grasp, for instance, more money, more clients, more opportunity, you will never be able to grasp those things because as soon as you get more clients, you want more. As soon as you get more money, you want more. And so you have to start to find other things that keep you into the business. And so for myself, I found that I will go through deep depression of not wanting to work, not caring about the projects we're working on, and just really hit a hole. And it happens 2 or 3 times a year. And I think it's just something that entrepreneurs have to deal with on a regular basis because you put so much pressure on you. For those who want to have your own team, the pressure of your team will weigh on you. Making sure you hit payroll will weigh on you. Making sure that you're going to be able to make your rent or your mortgage or however you run your business. Making sure that you're answering all your emails. Making sure that you're answering your loved ones and your family. And if you're a father or a husband or a wife, all of those things start to weigh over time. And I think some of us, a lot of us will just, I almost need diffusion because the sun just came out. Sorry, I just completely broke character. Some of us, I think, need to hear somebody else say that they're going through it too. And the other reason that I don't like to complain about it is because I'm, whatever blessed is, I'm like 10 times, but I'm overly blessed. I have so many opportunities, so many things that 10 years ago, I would have been kicking myself. Why are you complaining about that? But that doesn't mean that I'm not feeling a certain way today. And though someone is blessed doesn't mean that they're not still going through stuff. And so I think it's important to recognize those things. I think it's important to get help when you can. And I think it's important to understand that running a business, whether that be a team or yourself, is a marathon. Um, you know, one of the best quotes that I've heard about how you should be feeling throughout this whole entire process is never get too high and never get too low. Stay somewhere in the middle, because that's where you're going to find your happiness. When you get a big sale or a big opportunity, don't get super high about it. When things aren't going very well, don't be super low about it. Stay somewhere in the middle. And that's what I try to do. I don't try to get overly excited when we have great and new opportunities, but I also don't try to get down on myself too much when things aren't going as well. I almost give myself more credit when things are going bad than when they're going good. It's like that wartime general. Like, wartime general always has to be in war. And I guess I'm just have always been hungry to make it to the next level, that I'm always being scrappy and trying to develop ways to expand and improve, that when things actually start to go well, I'm like, what else is there to do? And but that's why I don't like to complain, because there's a lot of people who want to be where I'm at, and for myself, I want to be where a lot of other people are at. We're always looking at the next thing, and I think that's part of the issue that we all run into. Sometimes we don't stop, look at where we've come from, look at the achievements we've, received at this point, the lives that we've changed in documentary filmmaking, or the corporate work that we're doing, or the birthday party or the wedding, whatever it might be. Sometimes we don't sit and look and almost give ourselves a pat on the back and appreciate what we've done so far. And I think that's something that I struggle with on a regular basis, because I'm constantly trying to get to the next level. And I think that's something that I just wanted to share, because I've been releasing content for the last 6 months and it's been amazing. I've had so much fun doing it. And I've always asked myself, am I going to share the other side of it that most people don't get to see? And most people who have run their own business or they're an entrepreneur, they hit this in different ways. But I just feel like, we all go through some type of down period or depression, or not feeling the greatest. And, I'm sitting here in my van. I couldn't even imagine having a van so many years ago. Like, a lot of people see the things that I have now, but they weren't shooting with me in the gym back in the day. Like, I've definitely started from ground zero. And even from ground zero, I'm very privileged and blessed of where I've started. But this, you're seeing me now after being, I would say I've officially been freelancing since 2010, 2011. And then there's different iterations of how serious I've taken it over time. But it didn't start like this. It didn't start with all the gear and all the equipment. And I'm blessed, and I'm glad that I didn't start with all that, because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I mean, I literally started with a used camera, working at churches, figuring it out. And now I'm blessed at a point where I can do projects that this is what I've been wanting to do for my whole career. And so for those who are interested in running their own business, being a filmmaker, or being able to make a living off of this, know that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over time. But the beautiful thing about that is, if it took a long time to build, it's not going to crash overnight. And I think that's the thing that I keep reminding myself on a regular basis. If you build it fast, it can crumble down fast. But if you build it slow, 5% increase each year, you're gonna build a business that you're gonna be able to hand over or be able to build with your family and have for a long time. And so that's the thing that I keep reminding myself on. Truthfully, I've made it. Doesn't mean that I don't want to do more. It doesn't mean that I don't want to have different projects, but I need to sit down and realize that I'm at where I want to be. And new goals can be set, new things can be set, but sometimes you just need to realize where you are and not always chase tomorrow. So, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea if I'm actually going to post this video. If I do, it'll have no B-roll, very little edits, completely different than anything I've ever done. but I just felt on my heart to just speak to the camera about how I'm feeling in this very moment. And it's not flashy. It's, doesn't have all the things and rules that you should have to make a video, connect with your audience, but I was just feeling like talking to the camera. So I hope you find your opportunity to see all that you've done up until this point, and take a moment to appreciate that, and take a moment to realize that you got there from the hard work that you put in. Doesn't mean that you need to stop today. You can still grow, you can still make other goals, but just take a moment to recognize that.